Richard Wetzel. I'm the chair of the Downtown Council for 2022 and a partner at Centric. And I have the unique pleasure of introducing Bob Kendrick to you tonight as we start the launch of the Imagine Downtown strategic plan, which is really an update of a strategic plan we did 20 years ago. It's going to be our new 10-year plan that's really a community-based plan, and so we wanted to have a community event to celebrate launching it. So, a little bit about Mr. Kendrick. Bob Kendrick was named president of Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in March of 2011. And founded in 1990, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is the world's only museum dedicated to preserving and celebrating the rich legacy of African American baseball and its profound impact on the social advancement of America. And for those of you who haven't seen that exhibit, which I'm sure most of you have, it's really amazing. So hopefully you'll get a chance to if you haven't yet. Kendrick is responsible for the museum's day-to-day operations and the development and implementation of strategies to advance the mission. Since joining the NLBM in 2011, he has helped orchestrate a nearly $20 million turnaround that has helped the NLBM regain its vitality and financial stability. And while he doesn't fashion himself to be a historian, Kendrick has become one of the leading authorities on the topic of Negro Leagues baseball and its connection to issues relating to sports, race, and diversity. In January of 2014, Bob was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. The Kansas City Call newspaper named him a Person of the Year in 2020. In 2021, the Beta Lambda chapter of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity named him Business Person of the Year, and he was bestowed honorary doctorate degrees from Judson University and William Jewell College, respectively, in 2021. Bob is an amazing ambassador for our city, and we are so happy to have him on our Imagine Downtown team. It is my pleasure to welcome Bob to the stage. Mr. Bob Kendrick.
Thank you, Richard. And every time I hear that, I'm wondering, who in the world is he talking about? Yeah, that ain't me. But it is absolutely my pleasure to welcome all of you to the museums at 18th and Vine on behalf of my friends at the American Jazz Museum, and of course specifically to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, or affectionately known as the house that Buck O'Neil built. And as we are still basking in the glow of Buck finally being voted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame on this past afternoon. 15 years after he missed by one vote. Yeah, 15 years after he missed by one vote, we were able, Mayor, to celebrate what was something that we all believe was a long overdue recognition for not only what Buck O'Neil did for the game of baseball, but more importantly, what he did for this nation. And so Buck would be tickled to death to welcome all of you here who are so passionate about downtown and its development. Because I recall something that he said when he joined the Kansas City Monarchs in 1938. He said, I knew, as he spoke specifically about historic 18th and Vine, I knew that I was coming to the heart of America. I never knew that I was coming to the center of the universe. And 18th and Vine and Kansas City are indeed the center of the universe. And it is a place that we are all very proud of, and we couldn't be more proud of what we're doing here at Historic 18th and Vine to make our contribution to the quality of life for those who live, play, and work here in this great community. We're so excited about this year. Buck's Hall of Fame celebration is just one aspect of what is right now looks like going to be one of the most amazing years in recent museum history. You can see those commemorative coins on the screen there. Those are the first ever U.S. Mint commemorative coins in honor of the Negro Leagues. And those coins are now available for purchase. And I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't ask every one of you all to go to the U.S. Mint website and buy those coins, because Because if we're able to sell through the full allotment of those coins as designated by the legislation, we will generate some $6 million in revenue for our great museum. So while we are obviously very thrilled about the prestige of getting these coins, they're not easy to get, and the work that was done in order for us to advance to that place where these coins are now presently being minted, we understand that there is a tremendous financial ramification associated with this. And then as we look at this year, marking the 75th anniversary of the breaking of Major League Baseball's color barrier. And this is significant to Kansas City because the integration of our sport would not have happened without the Negro Leagues and without this great city. As Jackie Robinson was handpicked from our great Kansas City Monarchs to break Major League Baseball's 6-decade-long self-imposed color barrier. And so we should be beaming with civic pride to know that it was our city that was at the heart of what not only changed the game of baseball, but ultimately changed this nation for the better. And so the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum will play a lead in this national celebration, and we look forward to all of you joining us in this effort. So again, on behalf of our entire team, it is my pleasure to welcome you here to the museums at 18th and Vine. We hope that if you have not visited the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and the American Jazz Museum, that you will put us on your radar screen to do so. We're so fortunate to have these two amazing cultural institutions right here in our backyard, or as I like to say, we are Kansas City's gift to the rest of the world. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and it's my pleasure to welcome your leader, Mr. Bill Duke.
Thank you so much, Bob. You are such a gracious host and a true ambassador for the city of Kansas City, and we're all blessed to have you in our community and to be here today at this amazing cultural institution as we move forward and launching and celebrating, because it truly is a celebration of the Imagine Downtown KC 2030 strategic plan, which was a community-wide effort. But before I go into that, we're really glad to be here. One of the areas that have been identified in that strategic plan includes preserving and investing in cultural heritage districts, just like 18th and Vine. This map identifies 15 development projects currently planned or under construction in the area, ranging from the Urban Youth Academy to the Boone Theater, 2000 Vine, which includes Vine Street Brewing, Attic School, Wheatley Provident Hospital, and 19 Vine, and many more projects. So we are so well positioned for the next 5 to 10 years. It's just really exciting to see all of the investment happening at 18th and Vine and really taking it to its next evolutionary kind of place. So thank you so much for your leadership, and a round of applause perhaps for I'd like to thank everyone for attending and participating in the process as we developed the strategic plan over the last 2 years. It was truly a public, private, philanthropic, arts and culture, resident, human service, nonprofit partnership that led to this plan's development. I really want to thank Councilwoman Park Shaw with us today. Councilman Bunch is with us. County Administrator Troy Schulte, as well as former Councilman Jermaine Reed, all with us today. And of course, our Mayor Lucas is blessing us with closing remarks, and his leadership has been instrumental through the pandemic. And I'm so proud to be a citizen in the city that has taken such a progressive position in dealing with the pandemic. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you all for being here. Mayor Lucas is going to have the closing remarks for us tonight. He's chatting. And I just want him to know that you will have all the time you need in your closing remarks. Another story from another day. We are really building upon a foundation of success Everyone here, I hope, can remember downtown 20 years ago. It truly was, and by downtown, let's talk about the central business district, Crossroads, River Market, kind of those central three areas within our greater downtown. We're truly a poster child for urban blight. And no one wanted to work downtown, not many wanted to live downtown. Main Street was one way heading south, and there was a lot of symbolism to that. Today, $9.5 billion of investment later, 35,000 residents living in our greater downtown, 123,000 employees in that greater downtown pre-COVID. We're making sure downtown is ready for everyone coming back when we can repopulate our office buildings. A major employment center, a center of innovation districts. It is an amazing, it has been an amazing transformation over the last 20 years, and it has really put us in a position to really take a new look at our downtown. And I really want to thank all of those who've been in the vanguard of that revitalization and really have worked so hard to bring downtown back. Again, from our civic leadership, our political leadership, nonprofits, businesses, employers, residents. I want to do a little thing. I want to do a toast to you for all the last 20 years, which has left downtown as rated by Forbes magazine as one of the top 10 downtowns in America. And that was all done by people and citizens who live here. So congratulations to everyone. I hope you all found a bar. Good. Excellent. I'll make this all go so much easier. This plan is 2 years in the making, and most of that time was spent doing community engagement. It was done in a very difficult environment with COVID struck just as we were beginning the planning process, and we all had to learn how to do planning through virtual kind of means. In some ways that helped reach more people via Zoom, but you lose that informality of conversations and feedback. That's so needed as we go forward. But out of that process, we took all of that listening in from 22 unique neighborhoods in downtown, which we'll take a look at, and really came up with a shared vision, goals, transformative strategies, and catalytic projects for the next 10 years. These were, we think we're very excited to share them with you at a very high level. All of this will be posted on our website, the whole plan, as well as the implementation schedule, and as well as a whole series of metrics we developed and spent a lot of time on how do you measure success and how do you measure where you're having challenges. So all that will be posted. It's a 100-page plan, hundreds of recommendations. We're only kind of going to look at the very top flight today. Because again, today is about celebrating and thanking you all for your commitment to your city and to your downtown. Because without your input, the plan doesn't exist. And we can go to the next slide. There were previous plans, and the last one for downtown was done 20 years ago. It's the two on the left. One's called the Downtown Corridor Development Strategy. It was very much a top-down process, a process that really looked at the navel a lot because the city was at risk of losing its central business district. You had 24 blocks of absolute kind of urban blight right in the heart of your downtown, and it had to focus on that, and did. It really focused on those core neighborhoods and was a call to action that we had to save our downtown, which we're at risk of becoming a donut city without political or economic representation in the urban core. Middle studies, ULI came in town. Actually, ULI did a review. Could we lose the North Loop, which is one of the recommendations in the plan, kind of a long-term one, recapturing the whole North Loop kind of real estate. But what came back, it said, geez, you got lots of infill opportunities, you got a lot of work to do, push that one out 10, 15 years. And by the way, you've done your strategic plan, it's pretty much completed. You need a new one, you haven't had one in 20 years. And by the way, people here at this session don't look like our neighborhoods in our community. You need to be much more inclusive and open in your process and have it be a grassroots process that involves your entire community. We took that challenge on very seriously, very earnestly, and the work has just begun. And we need to continue to build partnerships through communication networks, through meetings and implementation committees to make sure that we stay very focused on greater downtown and ensuring that that $9.5 billion of investment benefits all neighborhoods in our greater downtown. We worked really hard to make sure that this plan fits seamlessly in the city's greater downtown area plan and its ongoing comprehensive planning process. So we had an implementation, a steering committee that oversaw this process, this 2-year kind of development process, and that committee had representatives from every neighborhood, every walk of life, every business and professional acumen and discipline, as well as residents and others. So to make sure it was very inclusive a very inclusive-looking steering committee. And the city was well represented as well. We want to make sure that this plan leveraged the city's hard work and make sure that we're making recommendations that were very much in line with where our city political leadership wanted to see the downtown go. So a lot of effort put into making sure that these plans were aligned, and Dr. Beatty will talk to us later about alignment as we move forward to ensure that we're all pulling the oars in the same direction with the same goals in heart and mind. This is the study area for the plan. It mirrors the Greater Downtown Area Plan's study area. It is greatly expanded from the 2000 study, which really, again, just focused on the Central Business District, River Market, and the Crossroads. This plan includes 22 unique neighborhoods, each with their own heritage, history, assets, vision, and goals for their neighborhoods. And we wanted to ensure that this plan reflected that, and that those priorities from each neighborhood within downtown were reflected, and that those voices were heard in the process and will continue to be at their table as we move this plan forward. $9.5 billion of investment, as I said, has really transformed the central areas of our greater downtown. That wealth creation has not been experienced equitably throughout all of our downtown neighborhoods. And a key goal of this plan is to impact the downtown neighborhood adjacent neighborhoods in a very positive way to share that wealth creation over the next 10 years and really weave this beautiful mosaic of neighborhoods together in some very specific strategies that maintain affordability, promote interconnectivity, and promote community identity. Because that diversity, if you look at a national kind of product differentiator, that's what differentiates us from many downtowns, is we're so diverse. We have so many unique and beautiful neighborhoods and heritages and cultures to celebrate. How do we enhance that? How do we accelerate that? How do we build upon that wonderful diversity that we have within our neighborhoods? So I talked a little bit about community engagement. We really spent the first year just listening, just setting up context to hear as many voices as we could possibly hear. We had a 40-member steering committee that really were representing each of the neighborhoods within the plan. Content experts, residents, large and small property owners, nonprofits, business owners, you name it. We tried to make sure that everyone was there at that table. We spent a year facilitating this process. Difficult in COVID, but in some ways, when we did the two online community workshops, they were attended by over 200 people in each workshop. In some weird way, doing that via Zoom removed barriers to participation. You didn't have to drive, park, all that kind of good stuff. You could do it from your home. Kind of was lost that informality before and after where a lot of ideas come. But we think we did a really great job in doing the community engagement. We're led by a consulting team that was MIG. They've done downtown plans coast to coast in all your major cities, a great team. We actually had 27 different national firms compete for this contract. Everybody in Kansas City was on everybody's radar screen, which was really kind of exciting, and they really competed for this. We were blessed to have wonderful local partners, Parsons Associates, Confluence, CityFi, and then EPS, Economic Planning Systems, is the economics of this. So a great team that facilitated this community process for us. Unlike the 2000 study, which was a top-down process, this was very much a grassroots-up process. This was making sure that every voice was heard, and that continues. I mean, this is feedback tonight. Everything within the plan, as well as moving forward, the metrics and the implementation skill will all be posted, all transparent. And we need to be working with our public partners in aligning the goals and visions so we can be as successful as possible. We were really thrilled to have Ken McColeman, who facilitated our 6 focus group, the 10 podcasts, which are also still posted on our website. And those were conversations with community leaders in all different walks of life. Dr. Beatty, thank you, did a podcast for us. Tom Guerin with the Streetcar did a podcast for us. But, really interesting voices of the community. And through all this community engagement, which continues, a vision statement evolved. And I want to quickly just read the vision statement. And then we're going to jump to Lynn Carlton, who is going to walk us through some of the recommendations coming out of the plan. And I know Dr. Bader will talk about it later, but we're really blessed with the implementation committee moving forward will be chaired by Jason Parson, Parson Associates. Vice chair will be Lynn Carlton, HOK urban planning expert, and Dr. Beatty with Metropolitan Community College and Systems will be our alignment expert to really create forums where we're making sure that we're working together with all the civic organizations that impact downtown. And they'll give us a little bit of a kind of view of that. But this was the vision statement that came out of all that work. We envision an equitable, inclusive, and vibrant downtown, Kansas City, that will thrive in the coming years and decades. An equitable downtown reflects the diversity of Kansas City in its residents, employees, institutions, and organizations. Ensures that economic development resources benefit every neighborhood. That combats systemic racism overtly and intentionally. An inclusive downtown invests in historically disenfranchised communities, proactively engages all neighborhoods in determining the future of downtown, provides opportunities for people of all abilities to participate in everything downtown has to offer. And finally, a vibrant downtown that preserves its history, its culture, its heritage, while welcoming new ideas and opportunities, concentrates on delivering an excellent experience for everyone, and finally focuses equally on supporting quality design, arts and culture, and a strong economy. So that vision really led to a series of goals, transformative strategies, and catalytic project recommendations that Lynn Carlton will now come and share with you. So thank you all.
Thank you and good afternoon. I'm Lynn Carlton, and I just wanted to mention Jason Parson, who is our fearless chair for this implementation committee, was not feeling well and is unable to be here today, but sends his regards and is sorry to miss this event. It is now my opportunity to talk to you all about the content, really, of the plan. And so as we move forward, the goals, which were developed through all of the community engagement, led us to 5 goals. So ensure a livable city for all, connect downtown neighborhoods, nurture a prosperous and innovative and creative economy, preserve and enhance our unique assets, and make downtown sustainable and green. These 5 goals have led us to transformative strategies. So the goals will help kind of be our North Star, and the transformative strategies are how we're going to get this done. It's a 100-page plan with over 180 recommendations, but don't worry, I'm not going to go through every one of those tonight. I'm just going to talk about a few examples in each of our transformative strategy categories. So, mosaic neighborhood. Diversity is our strength, and each neighborhood has its own heritage, which we want to preserve and enhance. All of the unique characteristics of our neighborhoods. But we're going to work with our neighborhood leaders and organizations to support and leverage economic development projects within each of the neighborhoods. Next is smart and healthy infrastructure. This is about being a resilient city, using smart city technologies like sewer and stormwater separation, high-speed fiber to every home, rain gardens, rooftop greening, community gardens, recycling stations, and running trails, just to name a few. Third on our list is housing for all. Examples of this will include establishing a social and community impact funds, creating a grant fund for emergency repairs, identifying displacement risks and working with the city and land bank to reserve affordable housing sites, establishing housing trust funds, and promoting things like ADUs, accessible dwelling units, that can help increase our home ownership. Next is 21st century jobs and recovery. These strategies include continuing innovative efforts to support local retail through the pandemic, support the Arts KC Resiliency Plan, launch KC grant-type programs supporting innovative startup businesses, connecting local students to businesses through internships, and retaining existing major employees within our city. The next one is seamless mobility. Examples include sustain the zero fare transit, prioritizing east-west routes within our community, supporting bike ped amenities, implementing complete streets policies, establishing parking benefit districts, and expanding our streetcar. Next is Green and Vibrant City Center. This would include planting more trees, having more rooftop gardens, updating our green space plan, prioritizing pedestrian access, supporting neighborhood events, and reimagining and reinvigorating our parks and plazas. The Downtown Council is realigning its staff and resources to support the plan implementation, and an implementation committee is already being established to ensure continued community input and oversight. Next slide. Our catalytic projects. So catalytic projects are those that spin off more projects, additional community development and investment. The catalytic projects include East-West connections, innovation districts, parks, plazas, and open spaces, streetcar expansion, loop reimagination, a ballpark, street reimagination, and lastly, but very important, arts, cultural, and historic destinations such as 18th and Vine. For example, the $3.5 billion in transit-oriented development investment has come from the streetcar being a catalytic project within our community. This slide represents the catalytic projects because under each of these catalytic projects there are multiple strategies. And our plan is drafted to be flexible and easily amended to add new initiatives that we may be even unaware of today. And the plan is highlighting a few of those. The East-West connections, as I just mentioned, important throughout our community. We have the streetcar, we have a lot of north-south, but making sure that we are investing in the East-West connections. The creative innovation districts, we've highlighted a few here on the map. Parks, open space, and plazas, not only within our downtown core, but making sure to connect to our neighborhoods as well. Streetcar expansion to the north and south, and hopefully east and west soon too. Looking at perhaps a downtown ballpark. And that is tied in with some loop reimagination. So we have the downtown highway surrounding our loop and really bridging those connections to making it all more inclusive and a more seamless environment. And lastly, the arts, cultural, and historic destinations. The 18th and Vine, Union Station, the River Market, and West Bottoms, to name a few. Now, we still have a lot of work to do, and we have a lot of work cut out for us. So it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kimberly Beatty, Chancellor of Metropolitan Community College, a Vice Chair of the Downtown Council, and our Vision Advancement Chair for this implementation plan.
Got these heels on, I'm no fool. I need to have help getting up here. All right, well, I'm not going to keep you very long. I've been here now 5 years, hard to believe, but I think fairly as a newbie, but I'm excited about this plan is to see all of the alignment that's happening within the city. With KC Rising, the Chamber, the city's plan, and the Civic Council, my goal will be to make sure that we maintain that alignment and we identify who's first and who's second so that we can move forward. It's already been mentioned that we've got a strong leadership team leading this effort, and Jason Parson, in his absence, I just want to let's give him a hand. He's done an amazing job in leading this work in these conversations, and our vice chair, they've worked very hard. Then they bring me in to bring up the rear in terms of making sure that this moves forward. So I'm excited to continue to work with that team. As we move forward, we've already talked about the leadership, but the Imagine Downtown Kansas City Committee will not only include that leadership team, but it will also include community members. We'll have at least 20 representatives from the community. Those will be people like you who are represented here to advance these strategic initiatives, guide the decision-making through, and facilitate and coordinate communications. We will continue to provide you with updates We have our annual luncheon that's coming up, and so we want you to look out for that, but then there'll be more details to come. And then we'll have a social media campaign that'll launch. So the last task that I have is to introduce somebody who really doesn't need much introduction in this city because he's Kansas City through and through. He was elected in 2019. He's a teacher, he's a lawyer, he's a public servant, and most importantly, he's a Chiefs fan. So let's give it up for our mayor.
All right, y'all. We need, all good? I thought she wanted to just be like, I'm still more important. I'm coming back for more words. It is a wonderful night to be with y'all for a lot of different reasons. The first thing I want to make sure I do, you always give shout outs when you're in these positions, but rare in life have I walked into a room and felt that awkwardness like both of us were wearing the same prom dress. And tonight that is me and Nate Orr, big Chiefs fan. Show him the sweatshirt. Show him the sweater. We both go on the same red vest. We are Chiefs people, and we also don't put up our Christmas stuff, which is always great because the Chiefs keep coming. You know, when I think about downtown, and I think it's this way for many of you, we think about our downtown stories. Believe it or not, I actually had my high school prom in this very atrium. Good memories. I won't tell you, what I danced to and all of that, but I did have a purple tuxedo. Don't know why. But I have that memory. I lived at 18th and Vine for probably about 13 years. And we continue, I think, to focus on how we actually build a greater downtown. Not just improving, not just looking at our broad-based geography, but truly how it is the center of Kansas City. A great city, a great region has a great downtown. And it isn't just office buildings, although that's an important part. It's cultural spaces, it's new amenities, it's respecting so many cultures that crossroad through this area. And it's us making sure that we have key foundational support and investment for all the different ideas that we have. And so what I commit from city government side is to make sure, as we're looking at these ideas, we're finding ways to find good funding. We're working with our private sector partners, nonprofits and others, to make sure that we're not just telling the story of downtown, but we're telling the story of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, the Jazz Museum, so many other wonderful institutions. And importantly, and I got to work with Troy Schulte for a number of years, Troy, we figured out how to pay for all of it, which is always a key and important part with it all. And so I thank the Downtown Council for their work. And I want to say this, because I haven't done much controversial stuff today. There is often, what am I going to say now? There is often a discussion about development and the future of development in Kansas City, be it multifamily, office, any other sorts of things. What I want you to know is that myself and so many others on city council and throughout local government remain committed to building a stronger Kansas City. Yes, we have many reformers. Yes, each day we ask how we can do better, but we also ask how we make sure that we build a downtown for the next generation and for years to come. That's our promise to you, and we look forward to working with you as we take these key steps into our future. So I understand the bar may still be open. I know Bill's probably going to close, so I'll just finish with a go Chiefs. Take care, everybody.
Yes, the only thing standing between you and the bar is me. I have a few pages to go away. I want to thank Mr. Mayor for those that vision, those words of strong support. We have worked together moving forward, all of us in our community, and I really appreciate your leadership and vision. And I think we're very blessed to have you as our mayor. So I really appreciate taking time to be here with us tonight. Also, I want to make sure that I recognize our sponsors here, Burns & Mac, McDonald, Centric, Dimensional Innovations, Populous, UMB, and our in-kind sponsor for the Boulevard Brewing Company. So thank you all for helping make this event possible. And also for your leadership and participation throughout this kind of process, because you've all been at the table every step of the way. We really greatly appreciate that. Thank you to all of our speakers who are with us this evening. Hopefully you got a flavor of the story that we want to tell and work together on. Again, it will all be posted on our website, downtownkc.org, and you can review any elements of the plan. We would want this, this is the start of the real work moving forward. And we need all of you at that table. We'll set up a very robust communication network so you can contact anyone throughout this process on that leadership committee moving forward. If you have any information you want between here and there, please feel free to email me or Ann Holiday, bill@downtownkc.org, or Ann@downtownkc.org for any kind of follow-up questions or interests that you might have, or further detail that you need. There's also a strategic plan executive summary. Ann, are these here? They're at the door, so please take, this is the executive summary of that 150-page plan that really kind of captures the things we've talked about today. So please take Imagine Downtown KC 23rd Street Plan executive summary. So again, we look forward to the future. We think we're well positioned for recovery post-COVID. Thank you to all of our residents who've kept all of our retailers and restaurants and clubs and cultural institutions alive through an incredibly traumatic experience for our nation and our world. But we're very optimistic on the future and very bullish. We think that Kansas City is well positioned, and I mean the whole city and the region, for the future. So come work with us and help us make it a reality. So thank you all very much for being here. The bar is open. And please stay